Hello and welcome to another wicked gameplay video. Today we're back in X-Plane. We're looking at the Carenado C208B Caravan from, as I've mentioned, Carenado. It's one of their models. It's a very nice plane. I've had this one for a while, just never got around to showing it on the channel. So that's what I thought I'd do today. We're at the airport in Italy called, I just installed this. This is actually pretty cool scenery. I believe this is LAMC, Milano Malpensa, if that's the right way you say it. I don't know if that is. This is actually free scenery that's available from the community, and one thing that's really good about X-Plane is the community provides a huge amount of airports, a huge amount of scenery that's all free, as opposed to what I've seen in Prepared. So yeah, I mean, it looks pretty amazing. This is free, worth a donation to the developers for sure. So we'll get back to the airplane. Pretty nice, typical Carenado, really high quality textures, very well modeled, and looks fantastic. The only drawback of going from Prepared, I guess now back to X-Plane, is that there just doesn't seem to be, or there is very few planes that have that high level of system integration in the plane, where you have to start the plane in the right way, follow the right processes and startup procedures, and that just makes the immersion feel a little bit more realistic and more enjoyable as well to fly, and it kind of inspires you to try and follow the right procedures rather than just taking shortcuts, which is what I generally do with planes that I don't need to, because it just doesn't feel as cool, if you want to say that. Coming off Prepared, I've been flying the A2A simulation, Cessna and Cherokee, and obviously they have really good systems in the planes that allow you to follow, you know, what you would really do in those aircraft, which is very, very cool. Now, there is a couple of aircraft that are available in X-Plane, mainly the J. Roland ones that I'm aware of, which also have the BAE 32 Jetstream, which has that kind of startup process, which is really cool, and that's kind of the thing I'd like to see more of from Carenado, but they are starting to go down that path. I know that the B200 King Air they've just done recently does have some of that engine management, where you have to maintain the correct RPMs and watch those gauges, otherwise you will get a fire on the King Air. So Carenado is definitely going down that track, and I think that is the right way to go for the X-Plane community, and I think that will increase the number of people wanting to get those aircraft, because that is actually what people want after they've gone through the initiation of just learning how to use the flight simulator. Anyway, let's jump in the cockpit. Actually, what I might do real quick from the outside here, quickly show you the pilot's door. Also have the passenger door. We've got the baggage compartment here, and we have the cargo door. Well, there is one thing that's missing here. You have the passenger door and cargo doors. The cargo doors aren't available there unless we put the cargo pod here. You can see when I turn that on, you get the little pod at the bottom. So if I shut that, you'll see the little cargo pod doors shut. Let's close up those doors. You also have the static elements. Typical Carenado aircraft have the static elements, the chocks, the witches' hats, etc. And you also have these pretty cool VC windows. Looks like it's working on this side. You know, it's a bit hard to see it, but you can see that they do tint this kind of VC windows. Kind of weird, but pretty cool. I'm going to just turn the pod off. We're going to have the turn the static elements off, and we'll jump in the plane. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're here in the cockpit. We're just going to have a quick look around. We've got the overhead panel up here. We've got some switches up here, which is standby motors for flaps, I believe, but I don't actually use those. We've got our oxygen, fuel tanks, some ventilation, again, something I don't really use. Pedestals, your trimming, fuel cutoff, I believe, down here. I think that's fuel cutoff. One of these is. That's fuel off, and this one here, I don't know if this one does anything. This is not simulated. All our switches down the bottom here with all our lighting. Not so sure what that is. Doesn't seem to do anything when I use it. We have our avionics and radios, all our engine gauges up the top there, warning light system, typical 6-pack gauges, if you want to call them those, what you might expect. Battery switch here, and our startup controls here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we might just have a quick look at the back. Do we want to have a look at the back here? We'll just have a quick look. You can have the back seat there. You can actually just change this arrangement to single seater on each side or dual seat on the right hand side of the aircraft. Okay, so we're going to do a startup procedure now. I'm not going to follow a checklist today, just for the sake of saving some time. And it really, for this aircraft, you don't really need to, because there's no real systems integration that really makes it all that much that interesting. So you know, you kind of want to know that if you don't do it, it will break. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're just going to fire up this engine. I'm going to do a little bit of the system startup here. We normally would turn our beacon on. Just turn some power on first. Got our beacon on. Emergency lights are coming on. Now we're going to turn, I think we just do this. Turn some fuel boost on. The ignition, turn this on. These don't seem to do anything. Don't really know what they're for, this particular aircraft. And we're supposed to be able to check for some volts here, but it doesn't seem to matter what I do. Does this actually work? The volts are never high enough to do a proper start, which is kind of annoying. I think it's supposed to be 24 volts, but it doesn't matter where I put it or what I do, unless I'm doing something wrong, it does not work. So anyway, we're not going to worry about that. We've got our beacon on. Look at the outside, the beacon should now be flashing, and it is. So I'm just going to kind of cheat, get my mixture full rich. I'm going to move the prop lever forward, and we're going to hit the start button here, and we now should be able to, let's get on the outside here. I love the startup sound of this though, that's pretty amazing. It sounds so cool. Jet prop engine. Very cool. Got to give it to Carenado for the sound of the engines are amazing. And as usual, if you open the side windows, you get that outside sound, which is nice. So we've got some emergency lights on here, and usually you just flick these, and they should be off, which they are, except for the ignition on, which is fine. We'll turn our avionics on. And I don't know if that's the 100% correct procedure, but that's what we're going to do today. Get some lighting going here. Might turn our nav lights on, strobe, and we're going to taxi off. What's kind of cool about this plane is it does have a reverse. Now I haven't really used it in a while, but we're going to see if I can reverse and get onto this runway over here. So if we have a look here, hit my reverse. Hopefully this doesn't go crazy on me. Will this actually work? Yep. Very, very cool. back into forward thrust. Put this right. I better make sure my button there. We want to make sure our aircraft is trimmed for takeoff. Let's do that now. I mean, we really should have been checking flaps and all that stuff, but we're not going to worry about that. Now let's go. Let's get onto the runway and see this little thing in the air, and also have a look at this beautiful airport that is free for X-Plane 10. Just watch my wings don't hit that. Now I don't know if we can actually get through here. There is a little gap. Doesn't really look like we're supposed to go there, but in the interest of time, I am actually going to go through here. I really love the lighting in X-Plane 10 with the kind of cheated my way through here, you know, with the proper lights here that you'd see on the side. They're really cool, and you know, they just kind of look weird in prepared. They're kind of just little bulbs, like little blobs of light on the ground, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I didn't stop in time. My brakes quite as good as what I thought they might be. Anyway, we're gonna kind of break all the rules today. You know, if I was really trying to be perfect, I wouldn't, but today, and in some other videos I do, but I generally try to do the right thing if I'm really, you know, trying to be genuine about flying correctly. Okay, so we're not going to bother doing a run up. We're just gonna, I've already got my flap set to 10 degrees. We're just gonna ramp up the prop there. We would turn on our landing lights and we are good to go. We'll just give it some throttle and away we'll go. I have to admit, this airport looks amazing, and being free, that is incredible. Just getting a lot. We lost a bit of sound there. Trim this forward a little bit just so we're not getting too much lift. I really should have set my heading for the runway heading bug, so we could make sure we're staying in line with the runway. You know, we should have been doing all sorts of stuff like testing of this whole system. Trim this back a bit, reduce our prop speed. Remember my shortcut key. After flying all these other aircraft, I find this just really pitches the nose up a lot. Kind of seems a bit strange now, so bank to the left here and see if we can get a look at some of that scenery. Jump outside. nothing from there. Back in the cockpit. I've done something with the views now, which doesn't allow me, probably because I don't have 3D view. Yeah, there it is. That's what I kind of wanted. Get a bit closer here. Let's have a little look at that airport. Pretty cool. Very well done. Maybe we'll try and do a landing. Excuse me. Come back in and we'll try and do a landing. It's quite a fast airplane. We're doing 140 knots already, and we're eased off on the power, so it actually is quite fast considering how many passengers it can hold, like something like 12, which is pretty amazing. And I believe the Caravan is kind of used a lot for regional kind of work, and you know, in sort of outback areas like Africa and places like that, where, you know, runways aren't always as good as what you have in Western countries, where they can be a bit more forgiving of the type of runways that you're landing on. Town there. See if we can make our way back over shortly. The scenery is quite nice around here. Our way back into land. The thing about this aircraft, the view outside the left hand side is terrible. It's actually nice from here. I don't know what it is, if it's just Cessnas in general, but they just seem to be very hard to see out of. At least to your immediate, you know, left or right. I'm probably going to be coming in a bit too fast, I'd imagine, by the looks of things. So I'm going to drop some airspeed here. We might take the right runway there. Going a little bit too fast at this stage. See if we can get some of that airspeed going. I'm not sure what the airspeed is for the flaps, but I'm probably going to do them around the 100 knot mark for first level of flaps. Might even do it now. It's probably too fast in reality. I have got X-plane set for failures, so if it is, then I think we're definitely looking too high at this stage. Anyway, we're gonna do a landing anyway. We'll try second flaps, but yeah, I mean, this would generally be too fast. land a bit further down there, the runway, than what we would actually like, but let's just see how we go. Let's try and wash off some airspeed here. Way too high, as you can see, but I'm going to nosedive it in just for the fun of it. You wouldn't obviously do this for real, but since it's a sim, we can get away with it. Way too high. We're just going to imagine this is an emergency. We can't fuel, and we have to land. Let's pull this nose up. Alright. We want to be a bit faster. And we're grounded. Not ideal landing, but just for the sake of a bit of fun and getting onto the ground. Taxi off here. Now those lights are kind of positioned in a bit of a weird spot. Maybe they're actually right. No, because I actually missed the taxi lines. There you go. Sorry, that was my fault. We're just going to find a place to park here and we'll call it a day. Over here. Rules in a book about parking. Not really following the taxi lines. There you go. Put our brakes on, and oops, are we still moving? I think we're still moving. Now we're not. So we'll pull the throttle kill switch, cuts fuel, pull these back, we'll kill the power. And we're good for a shutdown. So there you go, that was the Carenado, not exactly straight, Carenado C208B Caravan. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of thing, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, tell us what you think, what you'd like to see more of. Probably have some other games coming pretty soon. Still going to do one flight sim video a week, that's my goal, and start to introduce some other things as well. So if you want to see more of the Wicked Gameplay channel, please subscribe. Thanks for all your support, and we'll see you on the next one.